Welcome to Don McLeod's classroom and our cryptocurrency project. This is group work to the max because what we're doing is we're blending applications in the classroom to real-life understanding of projects that are available or problems out there. Let's take a look and see how this goes. Okay, so for the cryptocurrency project, we use prices.org, and this is a 24/7 every second updating site, kind of like the stock market, but for cryptocurrencies. So if you look here, we have the names of the cryptocurrencies. We have the price, what they're currently trading for, all the percentage change up and down, market cap. We even have the weekly change. So if you wanted to go in and see things, you could go in, for example, Bitcoin, you could look at the last week, you could look at the last day and see what the value was trading. And if you notice while you're watching this, you'll see a couple flashes occasionally. So green means a good change, red is a negative, purple and blue means it's changing, but not by much. But this is where everyone goes to look at cryptocurrencies for the value in terms of it. So we use this as our trading block. Then what I did is each group, because they're in groups of 4, had to have their own actual database where they put things. They had to timestamp things. So what I did is I initially had them buy at least 15, and I gave them a $100,000 investment, fake money, of course, not my money, sadly, for them to invest, and that denotes, or that is denoted by the black ones. So it was the time they bought it at, how many shares, and then what that came up to, because I created an equation in here for them that if they just had the price and the number of shares, it would automatically compute for them. So the first thing they had to do was figure all this stuff out, which they did day 1. Day 2, then, they started having the opportunity to sell. So when you see the yellow line, that means I was on my screen validating that they sold it, it was good, and it was fine. So when they sold it, they had to come straight over here, put the time they sold it, the price, shares, and then this told the value, and the profit simply was the equation of that minus that and that one. So it showed how much they made. Now, when they made a profit, they would have to go back into their bank and put it and keep track of it, because I didn't want to write the equation for them in that. I let them do it themselves so they could stay on it. So they kept selling and selling, and then these column over here is all the new ones that they bought after their initial investment. So each group, they're obviously named different teams, and they chose the team names themselves. So this was team We Want Obama Back. In second period, this one was Fantastic Four in period 1. A little different, but the same thing in terms of what they sold and didn't sell. You did not have to sell. What was the thing? It was a 3-day project, so they had to look and see, but the whole point is which team could make the most amount of profit in that 3-hour span with your initial $100,000 investment. And to show you the different strategies used, look at this. So what I did is I created a separate document on Google Sheets that any time they had profit on theirs, it would automatically change in this screen for them. So what I did is I put this screen up on the projector so they could see this at any given time. They could see what each group was doing, because the whole point is to beat the other groups and making the most investment. So they could see, oh, am I behind 2,000? Am I ahead 3,000? What do I need to do? What do I have to buy and sell in order to change things? So they did that. So you look at first period here, and actually no group in first period made money. They actually lost over 3 days. The group that was the best only lost $300 versus one group lost $10,000. So you can see the different strategies in terms of investing and watching things. Bearish versus bullish market. Some didn't do as well as they should have, but they learned real quick in this one. Where I move over to period 2, and they started using a little more of a bullish type approach. They took a lot more risks. So we have one in particular, team We Want Obama Back, actually made in 3 days $18,000. Then we had 2 others that made a profit. Then we still had some that didn't. So this was fun to see for them who took the risk. And for example, team We Want Obama Back, at this point they realized on this line here that if they just started selling everything all at one time, their $100,000 investment and what they made, down here, they could start turning a profit immediately. So it was a huge risk, but what they did is they found this Ripple XRP. They did their research, and they found that over the last couple hours from the day, in here, it was on a slump, and it was starting to slowly go up. So they saw it at about 68 cents, and they realized that we can make a ton of money. So they bought it at 71 cents, and they keep going up to 74 cents. They would lose a little money, it would go down, then they would lose, and they would still make overall. So that's how they made their 18,000 overall. But it was really cool and really fun to see different strategies that groups took in terms of how they made their money. Fun experiment. It did take a while for them to understand Google Sheets, how it works, and in terms of me keeping track, because what I had to do is I had to have them share all these documents with me. So I literally had 7 screens like this, clicking around, watching them, and each time they validated one, I would make sure that, okay, good, they did buy it, and then I would make sure that this added up. So it was a lot of work on my end, but it was fun for them to be able to see the live changing data, and since they were in a competition, it was really helpful. So I really liked this. It was fun. Probably could take a whole week. I just need to get Chromebooks for 5 days. That was the only reason I did it for 3 days. But it was a lot of fun, and I would definitely do this again. I'm going to figure out next year how I make this even better, because cryptocurrencies is the way of the future. Whether we like it or not, it is coming. So it's nice for students to get involved in something like that.